let's get popping. Let's see, let's join the people. The almighty people. Are they here?
Yes, we are.
That is great. I'm gonna turn my volume a little bit down. There we go. Perfect. Right, let's get going, mate. Alright, so Toxic, why don't we do the thing we did last time too and introduce ourselves a little? Say something about yourself, about your position in TC, and maybe who you are and where you live in character. Oh, Toxic ain't here.
Yeah, I'm here. Just got a puppy that I need to try and keep quiet. I am Toxie. I live in Volgrad. I don't really know what else to say. I'm a snow elf in character. Woo.
Woohoo.
Poor AF.
Yeah, most people are poor, except me, because I'm good.
Wow, MC. Me.
Right. Fight, why don't you do the same? I'm gonna turn
Alright.
this off real quick.
I'm Fightgirl, aka Scuffle. I am also a snow elf in Volgrad right now. I don't know, what else?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite boring, alright.
Wow.
Okay, so,
They say they can barely hear me.
yeah, that's probably on your side, because I'm gonna do this then.
Let me see. Maybe my...
I turn my volume a hegaton up and try to speak.
Hello?
Yeah, I think it's on your side. You need to speak a bit louder.
Okay, let me just move my microphone a little bit closer. There we go.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's better. Alright. I'm MCVDK. List streamer. I live in Glendale, as you can see, and I am Elder Sage Mark de Pierre. Because I'm not a pleb.
Wow.
Like these other two people. Alright,
You
so
might be a mod, but geez,
I'm the personal guard of the conference. Excuse me.
I am the Elder Sage, pretty much the guy who, one of the three people who choose who leads the entire city. So basically, I got all the power. Right. So our topic today will be a new start. Last time we talked a little about the end of Karuta, how it was, what we thought about it. This time we will talk about what do we think of the revamp. Anything we like, anything we dislike. We don't really do anything strict today, because I felt like this is a topic you could very easily just speak about. So it's gonna be very, very, very free today, very laid down, very chill.
Alright.
And to Krieber, who's asking in the MSG, I am Elder Sage of Blood. Yeah. Right. So I think we'll just take it from a start. Karuta ended, Valoria started. Grand opening. What do we think?
Yep. Well, I mean, I was excited about it, but also kind of like, oh, Karuta.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about last time, Karuta was a great place. Really, it was a good place.
A
Um,
lot of stuff happened for me at least, but
yeah, yeah. It took a very long time. Maybe Purple will join us in a moment.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, Purple will join us in a moment. Great.
nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I also think it was nice with the refresh. Karuta had been around for about 2 years, and I think it was time to change up the roleplay.
Mhm.
What do you people think? Like, could you have continued another 6 months in Karuta? Did you prefer to actually get a refreshing start?
Hmm. Well, it was nice to really have something totally new, like a really fresh beginning when you're like, well, I don't know anything about this world, but it would be interesting to learn more about it and about the lore and all that stuff.
Hmm.
It was kind of hard for me to get into it at first with like reading all of the lore and yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can admit that half of the lore I first read after like a week of roleplay. Um, because then I actually needed the lore, and I was like, okay, then I'll read it. Um, but yeah, Laura is Laura is definitely a big part of what's it called? Laura is definitely a big part of Valoria.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like it's actually a bigger part of Valoria than it was in Karuta.
Yeah.
Um,
You mean with like the nature and all that stuff?
I think in sort of like the case that we have a lot more Laura. Um, I feel like, and it's like, yeah, if you really want to get truly into the role play, you actually also need to read this lore because there's actually like historical
Hmm.
events in them. There
Yeah.
weren't many historical events in the last lore in Karuta. Um,
Yeah, like the lore's really an important part of if you want to start role playing and getting into it, then if you haven't read up on it yet, you're kind of you don't
screwed.
really have a lead of where you're gonna start.
Mm, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, and that can be our first little thing because we of course need throughout this stream to thank a lot of people for Valoria. Um, it have taken a long time, and I feel like the first people they're probably not watching, but like huge shout out to the Laura team. They did a good job.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, the build team also did a lot.
yeah, but we'll get to that later, mate. But yeah, like the Laura team did good. They made a lot of Laura, and yeah, and it's very very good. A lot, like all of it. I feel like some of the things have been written a bit confusing. Um, which I
I
find
remember.
kind of, which I find kind of sad, because it's good Laura, but it's a little too confusing to just get you into when you're just reading it. You sort of need to think about why is that and when did that and that kind of stuff. It's also a lot of confusing names.
Yeah, they did really throw the names at me, at least. I remember I was reading the lore and I was kind of. I couldn't even pronounce the names very well. That's probably just because I had no idea how to pronounce them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I was reading them, I started laughing a bit. I was like, oh, I can't really pronounce that. Then I started reading further, and I was kind of stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's a downside of it. There's a lot of confusing names and a lot of names to remember if you want to be a more historical person.
Mhm.
Um.
But you can get into it.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely. And but yeah, I feel like it was good with this new start
Mhm. What
and
also
so
really?
on.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Oh well, what interested me a lot was that in Karuta I was a little starting to get inactive in a way. I kind of thought, well, I've seen most of the things already that are here as for cities or those kind of things. So it was also a really nice change to have different cities that we can actually go to and be in. And well, I myself am in Volgrad right now, but just I know that people found the new Verith pretty confusing because it was larger and all of those things. And I've even seen a few memes about how Volgrad is also a bit confusing with all of the streets. And that is something that I had trouble with as well. But I mean, I do like that it's a bigger city and it looks better, in my opinion.
It was just very, 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 very difficult to make, though.
That's true. It was a lot of work
And
for
it
the
took
building team.
forever.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole process, we'd still go back
Mhm.
and finish some things up.
Yeah, well, at least Toxic and I were also in the building team helping along. And I remember that we were also kind of jumping around the place and helping here and there.
It was really fun.
Mhm.
Met a lot of fun people, did many fun things.
So, seeing we kind of well, we helped in most of the cities or kind of jumped around. So we sometimes did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But if you think about it, what would you say is the maybe most visually pleasing city, or what do you think, Toxic?
I like Glendale.
Yeah. So do I.
Glendale's really pretty.
It is. Though
Yeah.
we actually had a staff meeting about this.
Hmm.
But the problem about Glendale is that it's very, very confusing to navigate around if you don't know the system of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've noticed is that there's a lot of patterns in it, but like when you don't know these patterns, you're sort of lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember trying to find my way around Glendale while we were still busy with it was also kind of difficult. But I'd say for most visually pleasing or what I think is the most pretty, I don't really know. I think that they're all pretty. As for like, I like Volgrad streets and how busy and everything looks, but I
Hmm.
really like the nature in Glendale a lot.
Yeah.
And to me, Kazmir feels like a totally different city
Hmm.
than what we've really seen before. And, well, the idea of Fjolder is also different with Vikings and snow, but it looks really nice.
Definitely.
Hmm.
But I do feel like Glendale is confusing in the fact that there's a lot of nature you don't really know the way around.
Mhm.
But Volgrad is confusing in the fact that there's a lot of streets, and once you go into a street, you can't get out of it. You can't get out of it if you don't follow the right way.
Yeah. I'm glad that they put up a map in the plaza.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
What about the races? There's an entire new system for races, the application system.
Yes.
What do we think about that?
Well, thinking about having to apply for races is something that I think is thought out pretty well. For the reason that it's, you actually have to get yourself accepted, so you really need to kind of look into the lore or in what city you're going to go into. I remember I saw something on the forums that I think was about werewolves or vampires, and then I like how the community also kind of helps with, hey, but if you want to be a werewolf, then you need to buy the rank.
Mm-hmm.
But for applying for example, a snow elf, you do really get to kind of get your, well, yourself tested on what you know.
Yeah, and it also makes fail RP a smaller thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are sort of like forced to read the lore behind it. And I do
You
think
also get people that sorry.
Yeah. yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the fact that you need to know the lore behind it is very, very nice.
I sense a purple. I sense a purple.
Yes.
I summons it now.
Hi Purple.
Hello.
Aha!
Hi
Oh,
Purple.
there he goes again.
Hi Purple.
I just pressed the wrong button. Can you hear me?
Welcome back.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
wonderful.
hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. What are we talking about?
The lore, yeah. Alright, we're just talking about the new application
You
system
might
for
wanna
races.
Oh, yes.
MC.
Oh, yes.
Huh,
You might want to turn purple up a bit because people said they can't hear him.
I did.
Yeah, turn me up. How rude.
Damn
How
it.
rude. How dare you?
You're supposed to know how to do these streaming things. We're just here to talk.
I did
stuff.
it before you even said it, Toxic. So
Mhm.
shush you.
Oh,
I should also
you know
just
what?
I should also just warn the fact that I have my last few days of school these 2 days, so it's kind of important that things happen. So this stream is gonna be slightly shorter than normal.
All right.
Oh. Well, I
Yeah.
just hopped in. I was, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're supposed to be here, but you're pleb and can't do times.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You
I thought we were
disgrace
going to
me.
do it on Fridays per usual, you know.
Yeah, but the fact is that like, then again we go kind of back to the fact that it's the last few days of school and I need to do
Yeah.
something, so it's kind of like, we
Yeah.
did it today.
Anyway.
Can we get back to topic? We're talking
Yes,
about
okay.
not
No,
supposed to be
I'm
on
too
stream.
distracting. I'm sorry.
Right.
What I'm going to do again? What are we talking about? Application.
So yeah, what do you think about the application system for races?
It's a lot better than the buying the packs to become a race, especially because they don't involve spells now. I think it's a lot better, and with the application, it means that anyone can be that race. You know, it's a lot better. And you also they can
People
limit
actually
the
have
amount
a
of race people that are that race, which is great. We love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a lot more control over
Yeah.
everything now.
What I
Great.
also like is the fact that I like how I feel like they kind of combined Karuta and Araria, because they have
Yeah,
this
in a way.
every single
Yeah.
city is human ruled, but you have
Yeah.
the races which can live within the cities as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like that's a nice idea.
That is really nice. Yeah. Well,
It
we'll
sure
see how that
gives.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll see how that changes.
Yeah,
Because over
it
time, it's
definitely
going to
can
change a lot. Yeah.
change. Through the also the fact that it was announced that this is gonna be the last revamp of Thronecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah.
meaning
Where
that
they're totally gonna
Thronecraft
delete it.
will end anytime soon, but they can. I think it was something like the server is so big now and it can handle a lot that they add
Yeah.
that just can add on or remove things as time goes. Um, so we might even see an extinction point of a race.
Well, I mean, what they meant by the last revamp is that that's the last time they're gonna totally rehaul the server. They're just gonna
Mhm.
add new maps.
Yep. So yeah, we might get to see a race die. Cough, snow elves cough.
Oh no.
I want them to die. They're annoying.
I can't wait for
Think
the humans
about
to die.
maybe, perhaps. Well, it would be quite interesting to see if a race would actually slowly get less and then disappears. But there could be, I don't know, different ideas behind that.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um.
it's interesting too about how it's the last server revamp. Does that mean that we're going to have new continents in the future, or new dimensions, or new worlds, new races?
Yeah,
How is
new
that going to
worlds. We'll probably
expand
have
from
more.
Valoria? Yeah.
Sorry.
The- oh my gosh! I just said a whole thing.
Well, what he
You weren't
basically asked
listening.
was like if there'll be more dimensions and all that, which is basically just new worlds with new maps on them.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah.
sound really interesting, actually, because I remember in Garuda there used to be things going on in, well, I only heard things about Xeris involving this, but characters going into different dimensions, using a portal, coming out
Oh,
of it
that
later.
was. You're talking about Kievan.
Yeah.
And they actually. The thing was that we shouldn't talk about Garuda, but this is quick. Um, at the fight of Zephyrian,
Mm-hmm.
Solomon and I think Diaunt pushed him into the portal.
No, it was just Solomon. I was there. I was there. I was a
Right.
witness.
Diaunt somehow or Diaunt
Purple.
also somehow got in to
Yeah,
the
Jaunt.
dimension.
After he was like blood regent of Xeris for a while, decided, oh, that's been all well and good, but I'm a bit too powerful and strong now. Xeris is stable, so I'm just gonna wander off.
Mhm.
See you in a few.
Yeah, and then they returned due to the Sleeping King waking up.
Yeah, which is pretty nifty.
Alright, back on topic. But I do feel like Valoria could be great. And I also like the fact that your character can actually make sort of like permanent change. Due to the fact that it will most likely be a very long time. Um,
Yeah.
and if you actually do something so like remarkable, um, your character could actually know him for like a long time.
Mm-hmm. They could
Um,
be remembered.
yeah, become a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that fact because you didn't really have the chance to do that entirely in Karuda. Because then we came to this revamp. Now everyone have forgotten about you anyway. Um, but now you sort of have like you know that sort of like you can actually make a big change to how
Yeah,
things
you
work,
can make a permanent change. Yeah, which
and
is
that
nice.
that is very nice.
I
Um,
like the
right. One thing we gotta do, and this is a short break into the entire thing. We gotta judge something. Gotta judge something, and the chat can judge too, because our very own purple whale made a new dock for Glendale,
Oh gosh, what did I? Oh no!
which
Don't. It's
which I
embarrassing.
haven't seen yet.
Oh gosh, I just made a statue. Oh gosh.
So let us
Don't
judge.
talk about it. I'm scarred. I'm scarred.
I heard it was really
It's
good.
good.
That
The fact it was
reminds
done
me.
overnight
That
was
reminds me.
impressive.
I need to see your Elder Sage part tower purple, cause I heard it's nifty.
Oh yeah, I've been doing some of the interiors. I don't know whether they're going to copy that around or not, but I've been working away at it. But I'm
Yeah,
all over the
a
place
lot of
at the
my
moment.
rooms are empty, and I'm kind of like, nah.
Yeah.
Why? Why could you not finish my tower first? Okay, that is
Because
new.
my tower is obviously more important, actually.
Wow, no.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your statue? This looks good, honestly.
Yeah, thanks to Kenny, who came up with the idea of the statue being a sort of lighthouse.
Wait, I didn't.
He's got his
Where's
little
the
staff.
statue? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's the big wizard.
What's it supposed to look like? An old
Well, if
art.
you look at him from coming into the dock, then it's a high elven mage, old mage.
Go out
And he's
here
got a
and
big
take a
old
look.
staff, and it's on fire. He's not on fire, but he's got flames
We could
coming out
set
of his
him
staff.
on fire.
No, please, no. No,
That
thank
could be
you.
that could be a good event.
Well, destroying my statues is not very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks very
Okay.
good, actually. I like the I
I
like
feel
the
like his legs are a bit stubborn,
I like
but,
the
you know.
boat more though. The boats are
Oh
better.
yeah.
Yeah, who made
I
the
see.
boats?
Yeah, I need to make a lot more boats.
I just
I'm the only
realized
person who makes boats.
I
So,
can a little problem with your docks.
oh no.
You can't get up.
It's a work in progress, okay? Gosh.
Yeah, but I got a problem because I need to get up
Well,
and I can't get up.
go around. Just go around. You can climb on to the cliffs or whatever. I don't
Go
know.
around. Oh, actually, you can get up. Never mind.
How can you?
Yeah, there's a small slab. What's
Okay.
this over here though? Let's see.
What is what? I can't see. I'm not watching the stream.
There's a house. There's a house with nothing in it.
Oh, that's gonna be the dockmaster's house. I
Can
don't
we?
really know.
Do we actually have a Kashmir embassy?
No, that's but I don't really want a. I think it'd look a bit weird if there was just a random Casimir house in Glendale. So maybe just give them a building. That's the point.
That's what
put
an
my actual
embassy
there.
is. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the amazing new docks of
Well, it's not finished, but it's getting there.
It looks good.
It looks good.
So about right now, I'm a part of the event team, so I will find this interesting. What do you people think about all the current events that have been there so far, and what would you like to see in the future for Valoria?
Especially in Volgrad, because I've got nothing. I need to work on events, but I've got nothing. I need help. Please.
Oh.
I beg
Oh
you.
no.
So
Speaking about events, though, I did want to bring up that I think that it's really smart how some things have already gone down pretty far. But
Yeah.
at the start, for people who might not have noticed, or maybe they have, the Emperor the Old, he got shot by someone who used elven arrows, and that caused a lot of drama.
Oh yeah.
yeah, definitely. What about? I know that Bling have been hosting this pirate event.
Yeah. But it was just for the Empire, wasn't it? Though.
I think it
Well,
was.
apparently it
Mostly
went
for
well, so
Fjolder and mostly for Fjolder though. Not
Mhm.
many
yeah.
Volgrad people went.
Actually, I helped out in that event, and there were one fielder.
Oh wow. Okay then, my statement went to smack me in the face.
Um,
But it was meant for Fjolder more than Volgrad though, seeing that it was near Fjolder.
right, yeah. But I know a lot of things have been going down in Glendale in case of
Oh,
events.
sugar.
Um,
You don't even know.
especially with the rebellions and so on, but also
Yeah.
in the fact that there's a few events and a few bigger events planned. Um, as I'm a staff in Glendale, I mainly do events for Glendale. Because that's what I've been told to do. But like, we're definitely trying to spread out the events, and we are also always encouraging government to make events.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do some events, but after the whole government reshuffle, it was a bit hard to appoint the magistrate when there wasn't a magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's fine now.
Yep.
The whole Glendale sort of mess is fixed, and we'll see how that progresses. Because I think that it's a good point to say that hopefully Glendale will become, you know, as good or equal to Volgrad, especially with all the building happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, a few MSGs we're gonna answer quickly. To John. Uh, I do have a plan of including slaves in some events, which are actually based upon the fact that slaves would lead this event of sorts, and to twin
Ooh.
and to twin the entire thing about the female magistrate is not an event in itself. It's a historical event for Glendale, but it is not. It is not a planned out event. It is not something which we have anything to do with. Um,
Okay.
and we
So
got
what's
some.
next?
Hold on,
Oh
we
yeah.
also got. So Creeper also said we need more story ones in. Right. Um. Right, Creeper. Also about that, I do have a plan on getting the Kashmir people to do some more story about it, but it's rather hard to do multiple big events, seeing as we have the entire pirate line at the moment in Volgrad and like a big event line for Glendale. It's rather hard to do a bigger event in all four cities at the same time. We try to switch it out and so on, but for some of the events in Glendale, Kashmir can join because we're still the same faction, although there was made a treaty uh, between the Empire and Kashmir, but you can still show up and help.
Yeah.
That
So
would
far, nothing's happened on that. So,
yeah,
but I'm sure there will be something happening.
yeah.
I wonder what Glendale thinks about that treaty now.
Oh, well, I can tell you, not too happy. I mean, the thing is, if you, I went through all the posts, you know, all the Glenmere Treaty and whatnot, but turns out that it's completely legal what Casimir's done. It follows all of the stuff they've done. It's just a little bit snaky, you know. It's not very nice.
Yeah. That's also sort of like a thing that we are taking a bit of account on. It's the fact that especially for Glendale, the government isn't entirely stable yet. We're getting there,
Yeah.
but it isn't entirely there yet, and therefore we can really start doing events with Kashmir. Um, which then causes the fact that the Casmerian event thing is that either they make them themselves or they don't have any. Because of
Yeah.
the fact that they can't join the Glendale event, really, because the entire unstable government is just doing some things. But we're getting there, and it'll definitely help with time.
Yeah.
As the common saying is, Rome wasn't built in a day. Nor will
God.
the Gylene government. So that's the thing. Volgrad. Alright, so if we talk a little about population, what do we think about that? Is it somewhat equal?
I feel like there might already be sort of preferences among some people, but I do realize that everyone's still kind of checking things out, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I have seen people change characters pretty quickly, which is not a bad thing at all. You can just explore all of the cities and see what type of characters you want to play, and that is a lot of fun by itself.
For sure. I don't care, Creeper. I'm gonna pronounce it Gylene. But yeah.
Volgrad's mostly populated though. Even though the city can hold like twice the amount of people that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty equal at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, Glendale has also started to gain members, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I
mean, it is a
do
start,
feel like, well, people have indeed said that Volgrad kind of feels like the new Vareth.
I also think that's what kind of makes it popular, is the fact that it doesn't really, and don't get me wrong here, but it doesn't really require that much to be a part of Volgrad. It's a very, very, very basic city in the fact that it's very much like it's the classical imperial city. You know, it's sort of like when you hear the word imperial, you would think of a city like Volgrad.
Yeah.
Which also makes it simple to play, I feel.
Yeah. The other ones are a bit more special in their own way. So you got Glendella's sort of foresty. Casimir is the kind of Arabic theme, and then you've got Fjolda, which has the
Vikings.
The Vikings. Yeah, so sort of Volgrad is kind of, you know, the generic medieval Europe kind of theme. Yes, it's got its own special thing with the wearing white. You know, it's got its own style, but it is the generic one, which was what Vareth was.
Yeah.
Maybe it's easier to get into, in a sense that, indeed, like you said, the other cities do have, like, well, every city has its own special kind of twist.
Little quirks, yeah.
Yes. But I do feel like Volgrad is easy to get into or easy to understand the lore, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which is why people might tend to go to Volgrad instead of other cities, but honestly, I do feel like every city would be beginner friendly.
Yeah. There isn't too much of them. It's not like Xeris where it was a bit hardcore with the whole system, but I guess they've sort of, as cities, they're a lot more evolved. They got a lot more story to them, and they're all different, which is great because then you've got a lot of choice to pick from. But then again, what do people like?
Yeah,
that kind of reflects the population. and whether forcing people into a city because the other ones are pop locked does that make them happy? But I guess it does, because no one's really super angry. Oh, I'm so desperate to be in that city. No, I think it's just embrace the city itself, because they're all very nice and they're built by amazing people, and the builders put a lot of work into it. And the staff, they've thought a lot about it, and it's turned out very well, I think.
Definitely. All in all, I feel like Valoria in general have turned out pretty good so far. And I do feel like as we get further into the revamp, we will see more and more exciting parts about Valoria. Maybe also about Volgrad, but probably the entire world too.
Also, well, aside from that, every city has their own little quirks or little special parts. I do really like the fact that I remember in Karuta it was kind of a tiny little issue that sometimes events were hosted on times that was server time, or that was some people could not go to those events simply because maybe it was on a school night and they really couldn't be up that late. But now we have the option to choose, well, a city that fits your time zone better, and the events fit your time zone, and that's really nice for people with a different time zone than the server time zone, so that they can really get more into it.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of. I also feel that that's a good thing about Valoria. The fact that we try to suit the events more for the player base of the city, instead of like instead of like
the whole server,
or the server time.
Exactly. But yeah, with that, I do feel like this would be a somewhat appropriate time to end it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for this slightly short podcast this time, but end of school really takes on a lot of projects and a lot of homework and
buzzing about.
Yep. To give a little information, there will, unless there's a podcast in 2 weeks, there will not be a podcast till 5 weeks into the summer.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing as I need to leave for the glorious Spain. So I need to be there for 3 weeks, and in that time, of course, there won't be any podcast because I simply don't have time, nor can I get online or have my computer with me. So podcast will be gone for a while unless we do one in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Fight, Toxic, and Pebble.
No problem. Was my pleasure.
I was late, but it's alright because I contributed.
Yeah, you're fine. You can stay up a little late. Yeah.
School tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yes, school for sure. Right. Actually, school is pretty good tomorrow because the only thing we need to do is take a trip to Copenhagen, so it's amazing.
Oh, whatever, mister. I take trips. Do you know how bloody hot it is here? Compared to the UK, okay?
Yeah,
and
but
it's like 30 degrees. We're all dying.
And I'm freezing.
But anyway, with the complaining of how hot it is outside, we will end it. So yeah,
I'm freezing.
I'll see you people.
It's rather to be cold than hot, man.
It's now you
Damn
say.
it.
It's now you say good. It's now you say goodbye.
Okay,
Oh,
goodbye.
Goodbye.
my love.
confused.